Hi and welcome to part 2 of HTML forms. In this lecture, we are going to cover some more form input types. Let's first create the container element, which is form. Let's get rid of this attribute. So we have talked about the input type of text. Let's just go over it one more time. I'm just going to include it here. So this is an input that has a type of text. Type text is actually an attribute. Another attribute is placeholder. Placeholder tells the user what should they write in here. I'm going to provide a page break, and I'm going to come down here. Now the next type that I'm going to talk about is going to be type number. So I'm going to say number. Now in here, what we can do is we can basically check. We can just go ahead and create a number in here. So I'm going to say placeholder. This is going to be H. Let's just save that. You can see that this is H. Now in here, you cannot write any letters. The only thing that you can write is a number. You can increment that. I'm going to zoom in. You can increment that number. You can decrement that number. It doesn't really matter. But since the type is number, you can just provide numbers in here. Now let's provide a page break. And the next type, I'm going to create an email. So we do have an email input type. The email input type allows us to provide one level of checking for before actually grabbing the user data. We need to make sure that the email that the user has inserted, it is actually of an email type. So there is some sort of name for that email. Then we have the @ and then we have the domain name for that, whether it is Gmail or whatever. So you need to make sure that really abides by the email rules. So I'm going to say email. Let's save that. I'm going to provide a couple of page breaks here. So there we go as well. Save that. Now there is some space. Now this is going to be an input type of email. The next input type is going to be the password input type. So I'm going to provide a couple of page breaks. And this is going to be input. Why do I keep typing input? Input. This is going to be a type password because when you're writing your password, you don't want it to actually be seen. You could toggle the visibility of the password with JavaScript, but that is something that we're not going to cover. So I'm going to say password. Save that. There we go. So if you write anything in here, for example, if I write this, this is like, let's say the password, you can never see that, what the password actually is. Let me just get rid of this. The final one that I'm going to cover is going to be, actually not the final one, the next one is going to be, let's say page break, a couple of them. And this is going to be a type of checkbox. So input type of checkbox. Checkbox is exactly what the name suggests. You're going to provide some sort of information in front of it using a label or something, and then you can either check it or uncheck it. This is a checkbox. Now, the next one and the final one that we are going to cover is going to be a radio list or a radio button, which allows us to choose from multiple selections, from multiple options. So page break, there we go. Now, to be able to use this input type, first let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. This is a radio button. You need to provide a name attribute for it as well, which is going to be option. So this is going to be type radio and the name is going to be option. I'm going to create another input as well because we're going to select from a list of options. Let's just provide a couple of them. This is going to be option as well. So if I save that, you can see we have these two circles. There is no text because I'm going to show you how we can provide text for these. You can select this or this. See? So you can select either of these. If there were multiple, you could select from one of these. The reason that you can select any one of them, only one of them, is because they are linked to each other in code using this attribute. So if I select this attribute and if I get rid of it, you can never select only one of them. What you can do is you can select both of them. So I can select this one and this one. There we go. Now this is not a good practice because usually when you're using radio buttons, it's a list of options and you want to be able to select only one of them, like this. For that, you will be needing a name attribute. Don't forget this. So I'm going to provide a label. I'm going to say this label is for yes. And I'm going to copy this label and I'm going to provide it here as well. And this label is going to be for no. There we go. Let's save that. So you can see yes or no. Are you 18 years old? Yes or no. Are you a developer? Yes or no. So this is how radio buttons are used. That's it for this lecture. See you in the next one.